Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Blueprint. Hey, listen, we're excited. I'm your host, Dr. David B. Mills. Listen, pastor for 26 years, married for 34, five incredible millennials. I'm a blessed man. Listen, but what I realize is this. We need a blueprint. We need tools and instruments to build an incredible life with. And we believe the word of God is exactly that. It will help us build a phenomenal life. Our goal is to build 5 million men for 5 million women, to be able to build a kingdom kind of relationships and family and communities that will build and strengthen us for our lives and for our destinies. And so welcome in. Listen, hit that subscribe button, man. Get in, get some information every other week that will bless your life. The way we do this at the Blueprint is this. Number one, we have a bi-monthly podcast that will bless your life. Different men of different seasons, different generations, and all that, to be able to give you some wisdom, insight, and clarity about how to walk through different seasons. But then we also have the ideal of a quarterly in-person meetings that we do. They're all over the place, from Philadelphia to Dover, different places. We even do it out of state and that kind of stuff, to be able to minister, to build people, business owners, pastors, leaders, authors. We bring in to be able to be together and build together as men. And the last thing that we do also is this, is that we have a daily Facebook page as well as an Instagram page that you can lock in with us on, that will encourage you and build you up. Go to them, get some strength. If we're not around, you might need some support, need some wisdom. You can go to one of them to get it. So those are different ways you can get some help, some tools to be able to give you the tools to have to build with a great life. And so every week we bring an incredible person in to be able to build and bless with. And this week is nothing different. Got a great, incredible man of God with us today. I want me to introduce you to him even now. This is Dr. Jalal Hayes. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, good to be here. Thank you so much, Pastor Dave, for having me. And it's an honor to be sitting on your platform, the Blueprint Podcast. Glad that I'm finally able to get here and share whatever God has been pouring in my heart. So
I so love this time. And let me give him the professional thing. Then we're going to jump into the questions, man. All right. This is Dr. Jalal Hayes. He is a chemist, educator, purpose-driven entrepreneur whose life bridges science and faith. A North Philly native and the ideal, he became the first youngest PhD in the Delaware State University's history at 22. Now serves as the youngest tenured associate professor of chemistry at Lincoln University of Pennsylvania. Through his ventures, events, and also like Universal Network, Dr. Hayes leads clean energy innovation, STEM education, while mentoring young people to walk in purpose, integrity, and belief. His journey is a testament to what happens when faith meets focus. Powerful, man. I love that. I love that.
thank you.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm excited for you, man. And God is doing some great things with you, man. I mean that. You are one of the Daniels of this season. And so I'm excited about what God is doing with you, man. The people that can cross over to both faith, but also to different situations in the eye of the world and make kingdom happen no matter what location they're in. And so I celebrate you with that, man. And I celebrate the wisdom and the character and nurture you're doing it in. I really mean that, man. I really mean that.
Appreciate it.
So, all right, man, help me out, man. When you look at this idea, the scope of what's going on in our culture and our environment, man, when it comes to manhood, man, talk to me, man, about what you see.
What I see manhood right now, it's a lot of, I would say, toxic masculinity. You hear these things in the culture talking about a red pill man. You got the hyper masculinity, and the woman needs to be serving me, and all these variations of what manhood is supposed to be. We focus, I would say, majority of the things I see, and I've heard this in terms of three aspects. People only focus on 1/3 of the man, which is the look good, the smell good, and the financial aspect, what is on the outside. But the other 2/3, a lot of people are missing, which is what is the character development looking like? What is the emotional intelligence looking like? Not just when it comes to other men, but also definitely women, our counterparts. And in addition to that, what is the spiritual development looking like in terms of, do you pray to God? Do you worship God? Do you even believe in God? Which I'm not even going to get into that, because you already know I believe in God and Jesus Christ is my savior. But you have everybody focusing in terms of manhood, the 1/3, the physical aspects, the emotional and the spiritual, and even encompassing that, the mental aspect. I think we're missing in manhood today.
Man, that is so huge, Dr. John. I really mean that, man, because many times, and particularly I know for me and for our culture, that wasn't voiced and it hadn't been voiced for so long. And then when it finally is voiced, it's not always in balance. That's the other side to I'm finding, man. I know even though I grew up in projects, grew up in poverty, grew up a single parent, that can't be my excuse.
Exactly.
becoming the man that I am. I mean, I think all of us are born male, but you got to become a man. And I
Absolutely.
think that takes work. I think it takes growth. I think it takes effort. I think it takes relationship to be able to do that, because I can't get there by myself. If Jesus couldn't do his purpose by himself, I'm sure I can. But I also realized I got to deal with the things in my life that I had to really address. And the
Yes.
idea of manhood, when I look out here, man, I knew I came up, I was emotionally incarcerated. I know I was verbally constipated because I grew up in one of them tight, rough, homes of don't breathe or I'll hit you. And
Exactly.
that was, while it was good for discipline, it wasn't good for emotions. It wasn't
Exactly.
good for communication. And so I had to unlearn some stuff and then start learning some stuff. You know what I mean? What do you think about that, man?
No, I agree to that. I grew up in a similar environment. I'm blessed. I had 2-parent household, and grew up in that. But the emotional part, I grew up with the first part was the physical and making sure I do right, and also
Mhm.
make sure I treat my mother right, which helps treat women right. But the other stuff, the emotional regulation and the mental, um, how to deal with mental exhaustion, because I was taught how to work, but I didn't taught how to rest. And
Come
there's
on.
two different things that when you rest, it helps you with your emotional regulation. So I definitely can attest to that. And those were the struggles I had, which I'm now in my 30s in dealing with now. Because again, the 20s were all the physical, the things you could see. But the 30s is more of let's deal with I had strong character, but let's continue to build on that character. Let's continue to learn how to regulate the emotions and how to communicate, specifically with my spouse, making
Yeah.
sure that with my wife, I'm actually communicating effectively and not just communicating the way I saw in my environment when I was younger, how to communicate. No yelling, actually having conversation. Don't react, but respond. Listen to hear and not listen to reply. So actually encompassing that and ultimately going from male to man, you have to die amongst yourself as a male in order to come rise from the ashes to actually become a man. And
I
that's what
think
it's
that's
about.
so good, man. That's so good, job, because I think sometimes, man, we got a lot of testosterone kicking off online, bro, but
Absolutely.
we ain't got a lot of truth.
That part.
And
I
here's my challenge. Here's my challenge, job. We got influencers that ain't got the fruit. So my challenge
judge
is,
a tree by the fruit of the
come
bear.
on, man. You
That's it.
talking about, what I mean? Hey, no, a man does this. I'm like, yo, dude, you in your 20s, you ain't got a wife, you ain't got no kids.
That
How
part.
you know? How you know? You ain't
Didn't,
even
ra-
got nothing.
didn't raise anything.
Right, man. You ain't even kept a relationship long together for 5 years yet. So anyway, the idea here is how you get the influence, folks. But I think it is the same season in which, man, when I look at it, man, what messed up the garden was outside influence. Mm. It was an
Yep,
influencer then, and it's an influencer now. Jacking up
absolutely.
foundations, man, jacking up perceptions and opinions, and even God's view of something, that I can hear something that it might not be exactly that way, but I'm gonna manipulate it for myself. And
Yeah.
so I think those are the challenges, man, that I see, man, because I know for myself, man, until Christ, man, I was just a consumer, I was just carnal,
Yeah.
I was just a conqueror, bro. That's all it was.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this not it, Jesus? He's like, no, no, son. Any human can do that. But can you cultivate something in someone?
Exactly. And
Can
it
you
goes
cultivate, nurture it? Yeah, man.
and
But
it goes with the understanding of the outside influence, like you said, when it's talking about disruption, we forget about the submission part of a man.
mm, mm,
We always talking about the woman needs to submit to the man, but the man has to submit to something as well. Submit to his wife, of course, but we have two submissions actually. I
yeah,
mean, both of us had two submissions, but God called us to have two. We
yeah,
have submission unto him and also submit to our wife.
yeah.
So, but we have to submit to God in order to get the right direction and right information and the right revelation and wisdom so that we're able to cultivate the relationship and build something, so we're building in the right direction, or the purposeful direction, to order to what? Lead our wife. Because if we lead our wife in that way, it's easy for the submission for her to come.
Come on, man. You said a mouthful, bro. Because I think that some of you brothers want something that they're not. So
Absolutely.
I got to demonstrate submission to be able to draw that woman to it, and that means, like you said, I got to submit to God. But then also, I always like that idea of Ephesians chapter 4 or 5, man, but it talks about submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. Then it
Yep.
says, "Wives, submit to your husbands." But we supposed to be submitted ourselves already. I got to
Exactly.
humble myself enough that God could lead me, then God can trust me to lead her. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And then she can trust me that, hey, at least I know he's accountable to God. He's accountable to the word. He's accountable to a pastor, leader, mentors, even if it's friends. You know what I mean? But somebody got him. You know what I mean? He ain't out here buck wild by himself doing long ranger stuff. You know what I'm saying? But when she sees us submitted, it's easier for her to walk in that place too. But I think that ideal of, you know what, how do I do that? And then I'm finding, I think it is that when you have not seen covering, you don't know how to do covering.
Mm.
So if I haven't seen you cover a family house band, if I ain't see that you the one that gonna have, I'm the one that they're gonna come to me for the solutions. They're gonna bring me the problems, and that's normal. That's what I'm supposed to expect. But also, if I don't have the answer, I can still pray and take her to her father. I can intercede even that when the idea of pray and make a plan, sit down with her, have, like you said, conversation. And I think those things, and I think for me, man, I'm learning. I was telling one guy, listen, man, I think part of the emotional issue is vocabulary. And I think many times when brothers don't have emotional vocabulary, going into isolation, rejection is easy.
Yep. I agree. It's all about the not only just the vocabulary.
Mhm.
Well, the vocabulary, yes. Let me build on that. Going in because they don't have the vocabulary, it's hard to actually have that communication. And like as you said before, when you're talking about manhood, really dwelling into it, this is why a lot of brothers are incarcerated
Yeah,
because of what you stated. They don't know how to actually express their emotions.
yeah,
Emotions is go straight towards anger. And I
yeah,
remember we was talking about this before because men have anger because of uncontrollable emotions. This is why we have the situations that we have, particularly in the United States, but even all over the world, because
yeah,
we don't know how to actually communicate. And that goes through the process of regulation. What do you actually feel? It's not angry. It
yeah.
might be rejection.
Yes,
Why,
sir.
why do you feel rejection? Well, I
Yes, sir.
rejected because of this XYZ. Well, where does that come from? And you
Yeah,
go dig deeper and deeper again, exploring that inner child, then bringing it back to the forefront on why is it projected today. And getting mad at somebody, not because of them, majority of the time, is because of you don't even know how to communicate that with yourself. And it goes back to and you can, and I might misquote this in the Bible, you can help me, Pastor Dave,
sure, sure.
where one of the characters in the Bible was wrestling with God in terms of getting his gift. And
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
I want my gift.
yeah,
And God is like, you can't get it right now. And it's because
yeah,
of the emotion, the tone and emotions he was dealing with and wrestling for that gift.
yeah. And I think you're right on it, man. It's twofold. It's one Jacob and then the ideal, the
Yeah,
prodigal son. Both of them was demanding something that I wasn't mature enough for.
exactly. There
Whew.
you go.
So I think that, what I mean, we got a generation doing that right now.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
demanding a level of life that I haven't worked for. And then I
Mm,
want to, and then I got, and I was talking about another brother, man, there's a millennial man. He said this to me, he said, I came through a season where I grew up around men that were silent. And then I grew up around men that were present but absent. Then I grew up around a season where men were absent because of stuff like war on crime, mass incarceration. Now I'm in a season where brothers is indifferent, Job. And so I don't
mm,
know if I don't even know if I want a family. I don't even know if I want kids. I'm like,
mhm.
dude, this is what you're here for. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
And I'm like, how were you not going to take on the reason you were brought here? God's desire that he would have a righteous seed. That's why he actually wants marriage. And Malachi too. He says, I wanted a holy seed. So God is expecting holy generations that come from a man. Now we got brothers running from the very mission that you've been here for.
Absolutely.
Come talk to me, man.
Man, you said a lot, and you literally said what was I've been thinking in terms of men men of today, unfortunately, are running away from the purpose that God laid out for us here on earth.
Mm,
And it's hard for me to see, specifically as I'm a man doing what I'm doing in this world and actually in the stage of mentorship with other young men.
yeah.
And it's kind of challenging because the indifference part that I experience on a day to day, and my day job as a professor, I see it as like you don't know what your goals are, you don't know what you want to do in your life. What do you want to do? And it's I don't know. And it's like, what do you mean you don't know? Like let's unpack this thing.
Yeah.
And as we unpack it, it's because of the exposure.
Hmm.
And I see how God placed like a person like you, Pastor Dave, a person like me, and other men around that when they finally get that exposure, they want to learn more. And it just takes time from that standpoint of a late teen to an early 20s, because I teach college, to
Sure.
actually show them that exposure. But when we talking about brothers outside of education, it's something that we have to do and have to address. There was a statistic that just came out that talked about black men is not going to school anymore, or we're not seeing any more brothers in education anymore.
Yeah.
And I said, well, maybe they go military. No, it's just they don't. It's because of the indifference that you're talking about. What is the purpose here on earth? And I think that this message, hopefully, and also the Blueprint podcast, we can get to an understanding that you're here for a purpose. Whatever that purpose is, you're here for it. But in order to understand the purpose, you have to submit to something. You have to submit to God. That's where you have to submit to a man of God, mentorship, to actually understand and get clarity in your purpose, because that's all we're here for, to cultivate, to build, and also have families, to make sure that we leading them in the right way, to constantly grow this population.
I think that is so good, man. And I think, I mean, and what I love is that God gives you an opportunity to do that even at the school, man. I really do. And I think that what God does is he'll pour into us in the season. Then in the next season, we end up having to be the ones to pour into somebody else.
Absolutely.
And it happens sooner than what we think, but
yes, yes, it do.
But because I think that because of that gap of absence in so many different homes, I think I read one report, John, was talking about 68% of homes in our culture are without a male. So if 68% of the boys ain't seen one, don't know how one move, love, lead, or live, I'm struggling. And I've been looking for one for 18 years, and I got come and goes, but I ain't got nobody to stay. And if I don't see that, it's my picture of who I am and where I belong in culture. And that's why I don't have a vision, because I ain't seen nothing before me. And so then my vision is absent. And the Bible says where there is no vision, people cast off restraint. In other words, they do whatever they want to do. They just get reckless because vision demands discipline. So if I don't have vision, I won't put nothing in the discipline, because I'm not going nowhere, not doing anything. So that become reckless, and we live reckless lives, unfortunately. And so, man, I think it's a challenge that definitely. I know I won't be unemployed for a long time. Anyway, so here's the other side, man. How's this working? The ideal, what you see in terms of relationships, man, male, female, man, and the ideal of what you see around, what you see happening in culture, and what you had to learn.
It's tough. I will use a phrase that a lot of people are saying, particularly women. When I engage with women in terms of just conversation, they would say that there's piss in the dating pool.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that phrase, that colloquialism, basically means is essentially there's not a lot of men, because of what's going on in the world. There's not a lot of men that want to step up and actually lead. Like, I think because of they see women getting degrees and highly educated, they mistaken it for women don't need me no more. Which, when you talk to these women, they actually want a man to lead. They actually want somebody who is submitted to God to actually lead them. Yes, they have their own purpose and goals, but they're looking for to build with somebody, build with a man to continue to grow. So in terms of relationships, it's all messed up, unfortunately, because men and women are seeking different things from each other. The woman wants security, the man wants security too, but he wanted it in a different way. He wanted to be secured in terms of his manhood sexually, unfortunately. And then after that, he move on and go about his business. So I see that, and it's kind of messed up on what's happening. And it's a perpetuation of what's been happening throughout years to come. I mean, throughout challenges.
Yeah.
Where we have a lot of blended family or fatherless homes because of the mindset of where the man is at now today. So that's what I see. I think the way we can rectify it is, yes, we have Black fathers in the home, but we need more. My generation, we bring more Black fatherhood, but at the same time, we need to find out how we can put the family structure back together. Because yes, kids are my generation. I'm 32 years old. Yes, fathers are being there present for their kid, but my concern is why you're not with the woman.
Yeah.
Like, where did that relationship fall short at, and why did it fall short? And how can we repair that to create a family structure that is sound for the next generation? So those are conversations I'm leaning on and having, because I believe that, yes, as brothers that say, yeah, we want more qualified women. That's cool, but women are saying we want more qualified men. But what are the qualifications both sides are looking at? And that's
Yeah.
the state of relationships that we're at. And it's not then the woman sometimes is on the godly side, but I hear a lot of times when the men is not godly. So that's the disconnect that I'm seeing in culture today.
That's huge, man. That's huge. I love what you're saying too, man, because it has to do with I'm looking for something, but I don't see it.
Yep.
And then other side of it is I want something, but I don't want to be it. And it's like, hey, you want the benefits of being a husband, you want the benefits of being a father, but you don't want the commitment that it takes to come at that. And it's like I want it without the cost. It's almost like I want to skip the process, and I want all the benefits of the position. And it's like, yeah, but you don't realize. And I was just talking to one of my daughters, and I said, "Well, what do you see one of the challenges for the seasons you guys are in, and when you're dating?" And she said, "Well," I said, "What do you think was a challenge for the men?" She said, "They chasing the money, Dad,
Yep.
and they believe that they got to have the money first before they can have a relationship." And I was like, most people don't ever have that first.
And I start off early. I could agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? As most people don't. Most people don't, John. And I don't know where we got it from. I think they've been watching Instagram too long and all that kind of stuff.
That's exactly what
it don't work that way. It don't work that way. You know what I mean? Life never, wealth don't never come before life, not even in the dictionary. So you got to be able to do life and do some relationship before you get to these kind of places of wealth. And I think we miss out. And when you're trying to get, you chasing the bag, but you miss years of building.
Yep.
So you end up missing years of building unity, oneness, success, going through struggle, going through hurt, realizing I got a real one, because we can do this when we down. When we get up, it won't be an issue.
Exactly.
But if I skip all that, I actually delay growth, I delay unity, I delay a family, I delay, and they don't realize you actually putting all that on delay because you think you're gonna do this. I'm gonna do this when I get 40. You're gonna be tired.
You're gonna be tired, and you're gonna be mentally exhausted, because when you go through dating, you're gonna be wondering if the person want me for my money or they actually want me. Versus that, I love when you said that statement. You gotta get the wife before you get the wealth, and it comes in because at the end of the day, when I'm noticing this in my own life, like, yeah, I had money or whatnot, I had investments, it's great, but when I got with my wife, he that finds a wife finds favor in the Lord. So things just start growing exponentially because I'm building with somebody that's destined for me. And the building part, and people say, I hear this podcast, but I got money and all that. Now, let me tell you the difference. The difference is you chasing the bag, but you're not developing your character. We going back to developing character, because it doesn't take it doesn't take character development to get money. It really don't. I'm telling you from experience, Pastor Day, it really don't take.
Come on, bro.
so you can get the bag all day.
Come on.
Women look at things differently.
Yeah.
Like I could say for my wife, she don't care about none of that. She know that's not the issue. And that's good that you tell, I want to get the money, I want to get the money. That's great to tell a woman, yeah, okay, you got ambition. I'm security financially. That's cool. But what they ultimately looking for is, are you going to secure me emotionally? Are you going to secure me mentally? Are you going to secure me spiritually? Because that's, again, we talking about the 2/3. The 2/3 has nothing to do with money.
Come on, man.
It's only 1/3 of being part of this manhood. That's the security on the outside. But when women look how you going to secure me emotion on the inside, and that matters, because no matter what situation you're in, as long as they feel safe and they feel loved and you taking care of them in that way, the building and the money, and specifically you find the wife, that's going to come no problem.
And I think people need to hear that, John, and because I'm watching brothers wear themselves out and wear other people out. You know what I mean? There's that really says that you'll end up abusing yourself with mankind. God,
that's exactly what's going on.
And that's you hitting yourself with every chick. You hitting yourself every weekend. You know what I mean? You killing yourself. And you don't even know it. And I'm watching. I'm like, man, we got to get this word out here, both and through every platform we can, the connections that we got. It better help brothers realize. Listen, what you chasing is finances, but that won't give you significance.
Exactly.
And it's not going to give that woman peace. It's not going to give her joy just because you got money. I mean, I'm looking at the richest men on the earth, and they all got divorces last year. All of them. Come
Divorce.
on, all of them got divorces last year.
All of
Every
them.
one of them. Bezos, Gates, all of them. They lost their wife. So you got money, but you ain't got no love. So that don't impress me. You don't impress me. You got billions and you by yourself.
Yep.
Duh. How's that working for you? So the idea is it can't be that. It got to be to build with somebody, grow with somebody, mature with somebody, change with somebody, and you get a level of intimacy, unity, and destiny, and a family, and that you can leave a legacy to somebody. And the ideal of character, integrity, life, love, and all those things that change everything.
And
Wow, man, that's good stuff, man.
And it's biblical. What a
Yes, sir.
man gains the world or loses soul.
Oh, yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. And I think that sometimes we end up not realizing that we can see it. And even though we see it, we still want these other things.
Mm-hmm.
I tell all the time, listen, accoutrements don't equal assignment.
It don't. God will switch you to, if you're not your assignment, he'll make you feel it.
Come on, bro. Come on. And you can lose both. So the challenge of it is you got to be balanced in that process, that even though these things are nice, they will never love you.
Mm-hmm.
They will never honor you. They will never cover you, and they can't even take care of you. Only a human can do that. And God made a woman to be able to do that. And we got to be able to see her as the gift that she is, rather than use her, manipulate her, and do the things that we do. Help me with this part, man, and manhood, man. I think the other part, man, is this financial piece, man.
Yeah.
When you see that, when we talked about getting that bag and that kind of stuff, what do you see happening in culture with that, man? Because it's different.
People getting I see when people get in a bag, I could speak from my generation. I really can't speak from a seasoned generation, or I could speak from the youth. People get in a bag, but there's no significance. They might get significance for a moment, but it's not, the lasting significance is not in the financial. So, for example, you can see people getting $3-4 million investments, $100,000 investments, all 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures. All that is great. But the challenges that I've learned when I talk to these individuals, they're not happy.
No,
they're not happy. It's like,
and people don't see that.
And I have fortunate to talk with some of them, but they're not happy. It's like Biggie Smalls, more money, more profit. In their mindset, it's like, dang, I gotta take care of this, take care of that. And so, but there is a caveat. If you have God with your finances, you got faith in finances. When you get the finances and God is in the mix, it's no worry, because it's more of a, if I get it, great. If I don't get it, I'm still great. And when you move in that world in terms of faith with finances, everything will work out. And I'm telling you now, like, I'm working on deals, and this whole year is let go, let God. That's the mantra. If it happens, cool. If it don't, I'm good. And I'm moving in that regard, and God is blowing my mind with what he's doing. But I'm thankful for that, because I just let it go. Early years, I was chasing something that God didn't want me to have. And then I'll feel down if I didn't get it. Now I would get it, but I'll be tired trying to get it. And that's what I'm noticing. Not just me, that's happening with a lot of young brothers. And it's like, dang. But if you on your assignment and you have faith while you on your assignment, it won't shake you. It will not shake you at all. And I'm noticing that from every person that's on their assignment, they're happy. They're not even worried about the finances. It's like, if it's gonna come, it's gonna come. If it's not, it's gonna not. But also, I would say, as a man, you have to do this, particularly if you're in a relationship. And you taught me this, Pastor Dave. You gotta have a system ready. So the faith, when I'm saying faith, you gotta already write down what is it that you are praying for.
Come on, man.
And set a number to it and work as if you already have it.
Yes.
By the time it comes, it's coming. So, for example, there is it's like building a waterway, hoping that one day water will flow through the waterway. You're not waiting. You building the waterway.
Come on, man.
By the time the water comes, it flows and it helps the crops. It helps the fruit get birthed. So what I'm saying is, with that being said, you got to have faith for the finances and not just think financial, because that's the chasing the bag. You want to be on the assignment so you can attract the bag And you only can do that through having faith in what you're trying to do. And that's the struggle. And I'm telling you that from firsthand experience. I'm telling you that from hustling from firsthand experience.
Hey, listen, I think it's so good that they hear you, because I think many times we don't understand that part of it, man. You're so busy hustling, you missing life.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then, these cats, man, talking about, I didn't have time to be my wife. I didn't have time to be my kid. You just didn't make it a priority.
That part.
You know what I mean? And you got to be able to have and I don't think all the time talk the discipline for that calendar, the discipline for that schedule. That, it's scheduling. And my wife is scheduled in my life. She on my schedule. She is my Monday schedule. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't gonna be, but don't call me on Monday. I ain't answering. Why?
Yep.
Vern has the schedule. She is the schedule all day. Why? Because with that season of life too, I got that part. When it's not, it's date nights. But there's a season later on. It can be date days. Yep. And it's like when it's date days, it's like, oh, we out for the day. Drop the top, we out. Put the beach bag in, we gone. But it's because we did that earlier that now we can do this later. But we enjoy the process and without skipping those things. And I think it's so powerful that you got that even now early, man, because now God can trust you with stuff, and that you have peace without not worrying about whether you're going to prosper or not. Exactly. And I think it's this verse, man, that always blesses me, man. That's in Ecclesiastes, man. Here's what it says. It says in Ecclesiastes 2:26. It says, "For God gives to a man who is good in His sight wisdom, knowledge, and joy. But to the sinner, He'll give travail, and then the duty of gathering and heaping up, that He may give to him that is good in God's sight." Good. God is like, look, if you will fall in love with me, I will give you the wisdom. I will give you the understanding, the joy, and the peace in your life, and I will cause others to work the work you was trying to work.
Exactly. It reminds me of saying, okay, you doing all this, and God be like, okay, you done?
Right.
We gonna wrap this up.
Right.
All right. You ready to listen to how we gonna do this? All right. So this is how we gonna do it.
Right.
You gonna meet that woman.
Right.
You gonna meet that woman. You gonna talk to her. And you gonna engage it, and then he gonna work everything out. You be like,
yes.
Hey, this is more actual. I know, but since you were obedient,
come on, man,
and you was intentional in the obedience, I can give you whatever you want. You chase this up that I could just drop in your lap, and there will be little to no effort. And I think that's where a lot of men is missing out. And when I tell them, they say, "Well, how you did all this?" I'm just doing what God asked me to do.
Yes,
I'm just doing what God asked me to do. I said a lot of my stuff, like for example, I won a grant in the state of Delaware.
Sure.
I was in the Poconos with my fiance at the time, just enjoy life. And they said, "Oh, you got this amount of money coming. We'll I know you say you'll be out, but we'll see you next Monday." Yeah. Mind you, I did, but the old me will be chasing this. We got to delay the Poconos.
Yeah.
And me now, I'm like, no. Let me do date night. That's set up. I tell everybody, listen, wife want to meet this, that, and the third. On Friday, don't call me after 6.
Yeah, man.
That's my time. I see y'all Monday at 4:30 a.m. So, but schedule that intentionality.
Yes.
Scheduling that intentionality, and even with meetings, I use the scheduling that to make sure everything's on the schedule. But it always show Friday is off. So I say that to say, your wife Pastor Burns said something key to me when I came to TTW. She said you gotta live your life and you gotta live it abundantly.
Yes, sir.
When you're chasing things, you living in scarcity. You're not actually believing God's gonna bless your life for what you really want to have. But if you live abundantly, live your life to the fullest. That's in every area, not just in career, not just in finances, but also relationships. Because you never know when you find that person. And I could say for my wife, when I found my wife, everything just been exponentially growing.
Yes.
And I actually did less work than I did before. And I'm more relaxed. And because of that, that's because I'm trusting God for what He has for me. And that's what goes back to the faith, to the finance. But the faith also means you still got to work. But the work is you working with faith.
Come on, man. Sure. And it makes the difference, man. And I think when you have the order of God, and you have the structure of God, His favor is immediately on it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying, because I'm watching, man, and I notice it sounding kind of strange, but I'm working with a generation, man. It's like, okay, look, we gotta get the house, we gotta get the stuff, we gotta get all that, then we'll get married.
Ooh.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you not, yeah, but what if she changed her mind, or he changed her mind, and now you got kids and you got a house, and you putting yourself in some bad situations early. And I'm trying to slow them down sometimes, and it's like, why? I'm like, you telling me you don't trust each other enough to get married, but y'all bought a house. Y'all bought a car. You got kids. You know how much trust it takes to have all that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just had to slow them down enough to be able to say, hey, you got to make this a priority. You got to set some boundaries. You got to put some things in place that you think long term, not short term, with your life and with your purpose. And so I think that's major, man. And then I think it's helping them understand financial literacy in that area too, man.
Absolutely.
How do I manage it, man? When it comes, and it's not just for me; it's for everybody around me. Deuteronomy tells us, he said, "I'll prosper, and I'll give you the power to get wealth." It means I'll give you the creativity, the ability, and the capacity to get wealth, as long as you're going to trust me and trust my covenant when you get it.
Absolutely.
So he's making a deal with us. He's like, listen, I don't mind you getting it. I'll even give it to you, but I need to know that you'll trust you'll do what you're supposed to do when you get it. Exactly. And so I think that piece of understanding that, and business and streams, and investing, some of the other things that I think in our culture, man, we haven't always talked about. It's starting to get there where we get more about it, but I think it's necessary.
I second everything you stated, and I think when it goes back to the original point that you stated, you want the things, but you don't want the commitment to the thing. So when you're talking about the house, the car, the kids, it's more of the keeping up, as my generation sees generation. You try to keep up with the Joneses, which is a new format what they're showing on Instagram, but they're not understanding the backside of those particular things. So when you're looking at the backside of the quote unquote blessings, you're not realizing that you actually have to manage those things, as you stated before. And it goes back to, I'm married now. I'm listening to, I remember I'm giving the same advice that people like you, Pastor Byrne, are giving me, said, take your time. I now understand what that means now, because now when you're in marriage, you're in covenant with God, you start seeing you can't move. It looks nice on the outside.
Come on, man.
The backside of it is there's a lot of intentionality that has to be in place. There's a lot of management that has to be in place. And there has to be some skills that needs to be developed before you get to this place. So just because somebody got married at 25 doesn't mean that you can't delay yours and get married at 35 or 30. That person may or God has a season for them that they got the skills based on what they was exposed to, and they could do things smooth because they had the skills and mentorship, and they submitted to get to that point. Like my educational career, I did things early because I had the exposure to things early. But however, the relational part, that had to be delayed because there was the skills that I had to develop, and my wife had to develop us to come together to make this thing make sense. Now, the challenge is we show product, but we don't show process. And the process goes to what you talk about, Pastor Dave, all the time. There's seasons of things that needs to happen. So you can't rush a season. God has you in certain seasons. So you can't ask for certain things, but don't want to go through the season. Because he's going to make you go through the season. But if you go through the season, when God has you go through the season, it'll be less painful. There's going to be some pain, but it's going to be less painful and more than learning lesson than something that might be catastrophic in the future.
I think that's so good, man, because I think so many times, man, brothers don't realize that there are so many seasons to a man's life. And many times we talk about seasons for a woman, but it's seasons to a brother's life, man. And some of them, man, we just don't talk about, man. It's the season that like you said, being single. It's the season of being married. Then it's the season of fatherhood. Then it's a season of managing fatherhood, husbandhood, and it's seasons to this. Then it's, seasons on top of that where, they become older children, they're teenagers, and then it's, college kids, and then it's tuitions, there's seasons to this. And we got to give some direction, some vision to those pieces so that I'll know what's coming. Matter of fact, I'm in the process, man, of writing his ebook. It's called Help Me, I'm Married After 40. All right. I found out, man, it's 16 transitions all of us go through that most of us never talk about. And so I got transitions, man, whether we come from the ideal of menopause for her, midlife for me. What does it look like when my kids leave and go to school? What does it look like when they come back? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is not strange. This is just reality. What happens when physically, if one of us get ill, or what happens with our parents? These are all things that happen. But did we have a discussion about that? No.
Nope.
But are they coming? Yes. And so, man, some stuff I'm trying to put in print now, man, just to help us to say, hey, is there a tool for this? Come on, man, at least somebody tell me this coming. That would have helped me a whole lot. This menopause thing. Help, man, why is she changing like this? The heat's on, the heat's off. Snatching sheets, pulling sheets. Like me in the morning, don't like me in the middle of the day. Love me at night. What is going on?
Yeah.
And if you don't know that's coming, man, you'd be like, I'm out. And it wasn't just her. It was just I didn't have the wisdom. And most of the time, most women don't even have the wisdom of what's happening to her.
Exactly.
She can't control it herself.
Exactly.
So like you said, these seasons, man, that we all gonna go through. And if you don't know which one you're in, you could be really frustrated and make some bad choices early that mess up your later season in your life. Last one, man, help me with this. When it comes to leadership, what's leadership and what does it take?
Whew. So I'm walking in this right now as of 2022. I enter all leadership aspects of my life. I entered it early than I thought, but into all leadership aspects of my life. What leadership means to me, I can't stress this enough. You got to submit to God, because God, you may have the position, but you need to trust God for the power. Come on. And I'm saying that from firsthand. Like when my father passed away, I became leader of a lot. Just in the quick moment, from becoming a husband in that season to now helping my mother. She's the matriarch now, but she only trusts me to help with the patriarch side of things in a short season, to running companies. I'm the top guy. So it's like, wow, all of this at once. I had to submit to God. I said, God, you put me as the leader in this moment. I need help. Like I know I have these titles, I know I have these positions, but I need your power and wisdom, because to navigate this, I feel overwhelmed. So I would say leadership comes with not just the title, but you need the power of God to actually help you navigate it. And it sounds spiritual, but let me make it practical. The practical part is God will start downloading things in your spirit. The practical things, such as, like my mother, let's check life insurance. Let's get this. All right, wedding, we need to pay for this. All right, let's look at the overall vision of what this is. So the first thing is, and Pastor Dave, you preach this every year, you got to look at the vision. What is the big thing? What's going on in every aspect? What is the vision of what this is going to look like moving forward? That's the first thing. Then you could break down the goals. We can set some goals. We can develop some plans, and then we can do some steps. Step 1, 2, 3, 4 to get there. But you got to ask God, what is the overall vision? How this thing going to look like? And that's not an overarching vision. There's several visions that's happening, particularly if you in manhood and you leading in a lot of areas. Ask God for what's the overall vision, what's the bigger picture, first and foremost. And then, okay, with each one, can you give me some practical goals that we need to hit? What is the plan for each one? And you may not run them. For those who saying, well, I'm running a lot of things, each one is going to have a season. So, for example, don't God just have me running up simultaneously because that was the season I did. But when I got into 2023, he said, okay, because you didn't have time to mourn, we're going to put the business on pause right now. So ain't money going to come in. You just going to have to hold that for 6 months. Deal with the family, cultivate family, just deal with that. You're in a new marriage. Learn how you're going to make the flow of your marriage. Study that first before you implement any other schedule. Learn how this flow is going to happen.
Oh, yes, sir.
And what other things, how to do that. So the seeds, so understand the vision. God's going to give you the goals, but understand when you're going to start reaching those goals. And that comes from the wisdom of overarching with the vision, what season you're in with those visions. So that's how I look at leadership. Like right now, we just got into the honeymoon stage about my marriage. So I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
happy we can be
yeah,
outside, we can move.
yeah,
We got some structure, and we have an understanding of communication of each other.
yes,
The business side, that's now I can handle that. Oh, God already took care of that because I listened to him to let it alone. So that's flowing. I'm able to delegate, which means I can spend more time with my wife,
yes.
and things of that nature. So it's all about the first step. For me, I went to ask God, okay, I need help.
Yeah.
What is this looking like? And how can you help me navigate this? What is the vision for each one?
Listen, man, I think that is the wisdom of God for all of us. And I mean that, man. And that's the reason I do preach every year, because I'm trying to get us the idea to realize, hey, slow down, find out what God wants. Because that's where he's going to be working. And wherever he works, that's where I want to work at. And what he wants done, that's where he's going to give grace at for stuff that I don't even know. Because that leadership piece, man, and then I got to turn around. I got to be an example of the things that I'm asking people for. You know what I mean? I can't ask you for submission and I ain't got it. I gotta ask you for humility, but I ain't got it. I gotta ask you for patience, but I ain't got it. I gotta be an example of those things that I'm asking for. Then I gotta be able to use that influence to be able to make an impact. And I gotta be willing to be, hey, I don't want to just be building up companies. I want to build people. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Because people will last longer than everything else. And so I
Amen.
want to expand them, give them experience, give them exposure, as you talked about before. And so that it creates a hunger in them and even better help them with their visions and their dreams. Man, when we able to do that, man, we lead in land. We give it a vision, we give it direction, communication, all those things, and then everything else falls into that. But it takes God to be able to give us direction and wisdom on how to do
Absolutely. I agree. I
it.
totally agree.
So, man, I listen. I listen. I appreciate you, man. Let's give me a couple things, man. What would you say to let's say the millennial generation, man? One is men, man, in this season. What would you encourage them with?
I would say for the millennial and Gen Z generation,
Yeah.
um, I would say, listen, if you don't know what you want to do right now and you're trying to figure out, I'm trying to chase a bag, I'm dealing with culture, I'm not sure about God, I'm gonna say just sit for a moment right now. Um, 5 minutes. Because God gonna talk to you in those 5 minutes. Just sit quiet and just listen to what is your heart desires is telling you, or what is your spirit is telling you. And then from there, start just right now. If you get some downloads, or if God tell you go here, do this, or tell you to write whatever God is telling you in that moment within 5 to 10 minutes, write it down. And then from there, um, go seek somebody that who already done it,
Hmm.
guidance. Because again, yes, God could tell you, you could go chase it, but I'm telling you from experience, I'd rather you get a mentor or submit to somebody,
Yes.
particularly a man of God, submit to somebody so your journey can be easier. It's a lot easier. It's cool to be a pioneer, but pioneering, it takes time, and as you stated before, it's exhausting. Submit to somebody that has already done it and listen to what they have to say. Listen to what they have to say, implement what needs to be done, and constantly just come back with that, with that mentor. Establish a relationship with that. Because from there, particularly with men, if you're a young man out there, young millennial, Gen Z, or that will help you navigate where you're trying to go. That's what I would say. Because it's too many times we run into the internet, we run into all these people who don't have no wisdom at all. And if you ask them who they mentor, they can't even tell you, because again, they ain't got no mentor. They just study show that they ain't understanding no studies, got nothing to do with nothing, and probably misinformed and not
Mm,
properly informed. So I say go to somebody that has experience, who's talking about it, like a Pastor Dave, who's talking about it, preaching on it, teaching on it, and ask them wisdom wise, what can they do? And from there, that's what I would say. That's the first step.
yeah.
3 steps.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, write, get seek mentorships or submission.
I so love that, man. Those are so key, man, because I think sometimes people don't realize, man, what you're doing in private, man, will prepare you for the things in public. And you do
Absolutely.
that prayer in public, getting with God in public, man, getting to hear His voice in His mind. And then if you get people in your life that can be mentors and trainers and developers, people that can hold some accountability to my life too, because I need it. I still got people over my life that hold me and being accountability, and I'm gonna keep them there because it's good when we go through something. I got a phone call. I got a phone call I can make. You know what I
Yep.
mean? To bring us both in. So all right. And then I also have, people around me that I got to be able to pour into other people of other generations so we can leave something for another generation that they'll have it. Not just giving something to them, but something in them, I think is even more
Absolutely.
important. I think that's huge, man. And what you're doing, I celebrate you, man. Again, thank God for who you are, for what God is doing in your life, man. I'm celebrating what you got going on, man, with your business venture, man. Let's get a little bit before you go, man, about your two companies, man.
Absolutely. So, Leap Universal Network. That's my first company. I treat my companies like babies before I
Yes,
actually
sir.
have my
Yes, sir.
baby. So, my first company, Leap Universal Network, is an education company. Right now, we focus on STEM solutions. We used to just focus on curriculum, but we actually focus on STEM solutions as a whole.
Love
We STEM.org accredited, which means any program that we roll out is already stamped by STEM worldwide. So we're
it. Yes.
fortunate to do that. And we
Come
just
on,
here to
man.
just make STEM accessible and simple. And right now we're developing something that is a scalable solution for K to 12 or anybody that want to get into workforce development. Because I know that I did the K to 12, I did higher ed. I want to get into people who are non-degree seeking or may not want to go to college. So we get into workforce development now. So that's Elite Universal Network. Events is my energy company. So
Right.
my whole mission right now with God is I educate to employ so they can deploy. So I
Mm,
educate, teach anybody that want to learn about clean energy, research and development within clean energy or sustainability sectors, so they can employ. So I actually can hire
all right.
individuals. As a
All
matter
right.
of fact, next week I start my camp. Got five.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Got five students that's going to be learning about hydrogen storage technologies and clean energy solutions at Delaware State University. We have a partnership with them for the
Okay.
next 8 weeks. So they do clean energy as well as anything just R&D, research and development.
Hmm.
And we also got other partnerships, I think, with University of Delaware, Delaware State University, and we're working with a big partner in the maritime industry to act Fortune 500 company to try to roll out a pilot study with that. So
Wow.
that's the things I'm into. So one is very technical, the
Yeah.
other one is more educational.
I love that, man. I love it. Congratulations, man. You're doing some big things. And I love the fact that God can trust you with them in this season.
I,
And
I
because of your character, because of your heart, because of humility, man, God's going to do even more so, man. So I just speak life and strength into you, man. I encourage you, man, to continue to do that. If you ever need me, you know you got the number, brother. That ain't the issue. But we love you and I, man. Praying for y'all, man. I mean that. Can you pray us out, sir?
Absolutely. So, for those, y'all can bow your head. Father God, in the name of Jesus, thank you again for this conversation with Pastor Dave. Thank you for allowing me to um, bless. We both had this conversation. Thank you for blessing it on his platform, which is the Blueprint. Thank you for allowing me to help him build the Blueprint. I've seen amazing things that he has done through you and through him. Thank you, God. Just give us the strength, the power, and the wisdom. And for all the men out there, I encourage you, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, God got your hand on your life. Just continue to move forward, continue to prosper. And if you need any directions, without further ado, I just hope that you continue to seek guidance. In Christ's name I pray, amen.
Amen. Amen. Wow, man. Powerful time, man. I appreciate you. That's Dr. Jalal Hayes. Amen. And he is blessed as a day. You've been encouraged. I know you've been strengthened. I know you got wisdom and you got insight. So you know where to find him. Look him up, man. He's an incredible man of God, celebrating what God is doing in his life and through his life. And even in this season. And the best is yet to come still. So I'm excited about that, man. Hold on for a second, Dr. John. Hey, listen, fellas, and listen, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, man. Lock in so that every other week you get conversations like this that could build your life. Listen, I don't mean no harm. I used to go to the barbershop and hear a whole lot of foolishness. I used to be able to be on the corner, hear a whole lot of foolishness. I used to go to school, hear a whole lot of foolishness. I need something that's going to build my faith, my life, my strength, my relationships, my finances, and help me with my purpose. And that's the goal with Blueprint. We want to give you tools and equipment to build an incredible life with. So even now, you can get to the Facebook page, you can get to the idea of the Instagram page, you can get to the idea of both this YouTube channel. It'll encourage you and build you up every other week. We got some brothers that can build your life and strengthen your life. Again, our goal, 5 million men for 5 million women to build a nation in the kingdom that would get glory and honor. We thank you and we appreciate you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.